In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the best magic items for the Barbarian in your games as a Dungeon Master and the ones where you're going to want to go after as a player. Let's get into it. Barbarians are the ultimate battle rager class, utilizing their anger in order to deal heavy amounts of damage, while also utilizing that same anger to be resistant to the damage that they take. For this video, our criteria is not only going to be based on the power of that magical item that we're ranking here on our list, but also based on their intended tier of play. As a result, there may be some magic items and or weapons that do grant bigger bonuses than the ones presented on this list, but the ones that do make our list and make the cut are because they have a much bigger mechanical impact based on their intended tier of play. If you find something of value or learn something today, make sure you smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel so that way you're alerted when Dungeon Master guides, top 10s, or even live streams come out for the channel. Let's get into it. The first item on our list, and the one that's going to cause the most controversy, to be perfectly honest, is the Moontouch Sword. Wait, what? Are you serious? This weapon doesn't even have a +1 to hit. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. I'm out of here. All right. Stick with me here. I understand that the Moontouch Sword isn't the sexiest item in the world, and it's definitely not the sexiest item on our list, but that's kind of why it's at number 10. So stick with me here as we kind of talk through this. The first thing you need to consider is that the Moontouch Sword is a common magical item, meaning that this item could plausibly be found or obtained by a barbarian or even purchased in tier 1 of play. And not only that, this weapon actually acts as a torch, emitting bright light for 15 feet and then dim light beyond that for another 15 feet. But wait, there's more. This item, in addition to functionally being a torch, is also considered a magical weapon for the purposes of overcoming magical attack, resistance, and immunity that some creatures do have. This means that you, as the DM, when you're handing this magical item out to your barbarian, can have no fear about worrying about incorporeal undead destroying your party's day. This barbarian can slice and dice them just like they can normal mundane creatures. With this Moontouch Sword, you as that barbarian can also just rage out against those ghostly hordes. Did I also mention that this blade can be any sword? Meaning that the barbarian could have a Moontouch Greatsword slicing and dicing through hordes with 2d6 damage. The power in such an item at such an inexpensive price at such a low tier of play is the reason why that Moontouch Sword makes it on our list here at number 10. At number 9, we have the Peripheral of Wound Closure. This item is pretty useful for the Barbarian, as the Barbarian usually has a pretty low armor class while also having a pretty big hit die. This item not only stabilizes you when you get knocked unconscious by, say, a Dragon's Breath weapon, but also helps you to heal yourself, basically. As part of a short rest, when you roll hit dice, you actually double the amount of HP that you heal, allowing you to kind of be able to heal yourself as opposed to having to rely on potions or, say, spellcasting from the cleric to take care of you. This ability to heal yourself between fights while also being able to stay alive when overwhelmed by magical damage is the reason why the Peripheral of Wound Closure comes in at number 9. At number 8, we actually have a recall from our Artificer list, which I will leave a link for down in the description below, and that is the Cloak of Displacement. The value in this rare item cannot be understated. The fact that you actually cause opponents of yours to have disadvantage on attacks against you is huge, especially when you consider that you can basically just recklessly attack with, well, reckless abandon. Now there is one catch. If you do take damage over the course of combat, the effects of this cloak are actually going to be nullified until the start of your next turn. As a result, the best practice when utilizing this item is to get up in those spellcasters' faces and make sure you nullify them quickly before they nullify you. Because this item effectively cancels out the drawbacks of reckless attack, although it does have this kind of special use case, is the main reason why that this item comes in on our list at number 8. Crawling in at number 7 on our list is the Scarab of Protection. This item is actually huge because it does grant advantage on all saving throws against spells thrown at you, which are typically wisdom saving throws, which our barbarian is typically not the best at. Pair that with the 12 charges inside this scarab that allow you to take any failed saving throw against any necromancy spell into a success, you can see the great benefits at higher tiers of play when we consider that Finger of Death is often on the table for a lot of evil spellcasters. After these 12 charges are expended, the scarab crumbles into dust, so make sure you use this ability sparingly. Thanks to this useful boon that we have to our saving throws, as well as this special case use with necromancy spells, is the reason why the Scarab of Protection comes in our list at number 7. Coming into the number 6 spot, we have another item from our Artificer list, and that is the Ironstone of Mastery. The power of this item cannot be understated because the Ironstone of Mastery raises your proficiency score up 1 point. That means better to hit bonuses, better saving throws, and better skill and ability checks for our Barbarian. A boon to your proficiency is huge, but it's not as important for some of the other spellcasting classes that require concentration checks, and as a result, that is why the Ironstone of Mastery comes in on our list at number 6. Coming in at number 5, we have the legendary item known as the Luck Blade. The top 5, not unlike our last video, has a number of items that could be argued to be in the top spot, and the Luck Blade is no exception. Coming in as any sword type, this item provides a +1 bonus to your attack and damage rolls, which is a very useful boon in and of itself. This sword also acts sort of as a pseudo Ring of 3 Wishes, granting 1d4 -1 charges of the wish spell inside the sword. Having up to 3 wishes is absolutely amazing because you can cast any level 8 spell or lower, you can give resistance to a specific damage type, or whatever is up to the limitations of you and your dungeon master's imagination. However, depending on how you word it and depending on the scope of the wish, there could be some negative consequences. The volatility as a result brings this Luck Blade in at number 5, but you can absolutely see the amazing power of this sword. Coming in at number 4, we actually have a 2-for-1 special in the Manual of Bodily Health and the Manual of Gainful Exercise. Each of these books provides a benefit to one of the 2 crucial statistics for the Barbarian, being Strength for the Manual of Gainful Exercise and Constitution for the Manual of Bodily Health. Reading these books gives you a +2 bonus to the respective ability score, as well as raising the ceiling of the maximum ability score from 20 to 22. What does this mean? More Constitution means better AC, more hit points, and a better Constitution saving throw for the Barbarian. Better Strength means you also have a better chance to hit, and it also means better Strength and better Strength checks. One of these books, depending on how your Barbarian is built, is going to be a really huge boon at increasing their effectiveness. Weighting these 2 against each other, the Manual of Bodily Health is probably the better book, given the fact that you can actually boost your Strength score with a number of other items that are available in the game. However, the value of both of these items is amazing and is the reason why they both come in on our list at number 4. Cracking the top 3, at number 3, we have the Belt of Giant Strength, and specifically in our case, the Belt of Storm Giant Strength. Each of the belt's variants gives you a strength score above 20, something that is not achievable through non-magical means. The Belt of Storm Giant Strength is the best one, providing a strength score of 29. And that's it. That's all it does. It gives you a strength score of 29, which is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but that is all you need to do. You just need to wear the belt, you have a strength score of 29. This item, though, can be pretty tough as a dungeon master to hand out, and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of character classes that rely on strength as one of their ability scores often spend a lot of their resources leveling up trying to boost that, and giving this item to that person, especially if they've spent a lot of those ability score increases on strength, is kind of disheartening because you spent all this time and effort trying to make your strength better, and then one magic item just completely blows all that effort out of the water. This magical item, as a result, can be kind of a letdown, and as a result, sometimes this item is better served to a character whose main ability isn't strength, but could be benefited by strength, like say a cleric, unless of course your barbarian just happened to roll poorly on their ability scores at level 1. Regardless of the case, this item is super powered, and it will make your barbarian feel super powered, and that is why it comes in at number 3. Just edged out for that top spot here at number 2, we actually have the Blood Fury tattoo from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. This legendary magical tattoo contains 10 charges, and as part of a weapon attack, something we do as a barbarian quite a bit, we can actually expend a charge to deal an extra 4d6 necrotic damage, healing ourselves for the total amount of damage dealt. You can also expend a charge whenever a creature hits you with a melee weapon attack and use your reaction to attack them right back. This is absolutely amazing because it's almost kind of like having your own barbarian's version of Divine Smite, because the specific verbiage here says that when you hit with an attack, not before you attack. So you can actually add this extra 4d6 necrotic damage after you hit something, or after you see the result of a roll where maybe you got a critical hit, and you can double those damage dice. A really great tattoo, item, whatever you want to call it. It's a great boon for our barbarian, and that's why it comes in here at number 2. And finally, at the top spot, the moment you've all been waiting for, we have the Vorpal Sword. With a +3 to hit and a +3 to damage, and the ability to ignore slashing damage resistances, this weapon is absolutely unreal. Not only that, when you roll to attack with this weapon and you roll a natural 20, you actually have the ability to decapitate your opponent, killing it instantly, provided that decapitation is a proper method of defeating your opponent. There are some special use cases though, in the cases of monsters with legendary resistances, for example, or monsters that have complete immunity to slashing damage, or in the case of monsters where decapitating them would not be a reasonable means to kill them. And in this particular circumstance, those creatures would take an extra 68 slashing damage. Now, mind you, that is not 68 then doubled because of the crit. We are getting this access to these 68 because of the fact that we rolled a natural 20 on our attack roll. The Vorpal Sword can take many forms, which means we can grab that big old greatsword with that 2d6 damage dice, and in addition, because we can hit really hard and do a lot of damage, and the fact that we can also decapitate our opponents is the main reason why that Vorpal Sword comes in on our list in the top spot. What do you think of our list? Is there something missing that you expected to see? What's your top 10 magic items for the Barbarian, and why are we wrong? Leave your comments down in the comment section below and tell us why. If you made it to the end, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel, because not only will we be able to grow our community even greater than it already is and continue to help new players and dungeon masters, you'll also get alerted when new videos come out for the channel, such as more of these top 10 videos, dungeon master guides, as well as our stream games come out for the channel. Speaking of that live stream game, we actually have a live stream campaign here on YouTube that also streams on Twitch. Link for the Twitch stream is down in the description below. That's at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays. And if you're on Twitch, you actually have the ability to impact our dice in real time and basically kind of make or break our campaign, as it were. So make sure you check that out. In addition, make sure you join our Patreon community. Be just like Ceepus, Dave Platinum Dife, WolfXZ, and the Sleepy Sorceress over at patreon.com/bluecollardm. There you can find a number of different perks related to the channel, including merch, dungeon master tips, as well as monthly games, and much, much more. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you learned something. And until next time, happy gaming.